To Senator Joseph Martin, member of the Maine State Senate representing District 19. Your letter is an insult to Canadian sovereignty and dignity. It's a clumsy attempt to bait us into a debate. I don't reply for your sake, but to make sure that the people of Maine understand how badly you've damaged their interests with this reckless stunt. But since we're here, I'll indulge you first on the substance of your letter because, in my view, your thesis that Canada is a lesser country than the US is false. Canadians live longer, with our average life expectancy being around 83 years of age versus 79 in the US. We enjoy higher reported happiness, according to the World Happiness Report in 2025, and we suffer less crime generally, have greater access to healthcare and education. We fare better on global freedom indices. According to Freedom House in 2025, Canada ranks 5th with a score of 97 out of 100. The US doesn't even make the top 15. Our courts protect expression in a principled way, balancing its value against other rights rather than treating expression as absolute. See, for example, Urban Toy Limited versus Quebec. Our society is more civil, our cities are cleaner, and opportunities for self-actualization are broader. For all your talk of freedom, Senator, Canadians appear to live it more fully by any sensible definition of that word. To your constituents in Maine, understand what your senator has done. He's openly urged Canadian provinces to abandon our confederation and join the US, a move that serves US resource interests but betrays a century of cooperation, and Canadians are not fooled. If Maine becomes the face of efforts to break Canada, Mainers as lobster, timber, and tourism will be the first targets of Canadian boycotts. This harms you. It affects your businesses, your bottom line. And frankly, there's no reason for it. I think it's fair to say US media is not good at helping Americans understand outside perspectives. So let me rectify that by explaining the Canadian point of view so I don't come across as preachy or a provocateur. Imagine if the US was not the biggest economic and military power in the world, and the country that was the biggest power suddenly threatened the US, unprovoked, after more than a century of highly successful and productive collaboration. Would you want to spend your money on that country's products? Would you want to go spend your tourism dollars there? Of course not. That would be ridiculous. Since the start of Trump's second term, the US's behavior towards Canada has been grossly immoral according to any ethical system, and we all know it. That's why Canadians are morally right to boycott. It's why we are boycotting. And Senator Martin has single-handedly made the boycott worse for Maine. So I completely understand that individual Mainers may feel powerless against a Trump administration intent on undermining Canada, but Senator Martin was elected by roughly 12,000 votes in total. That's about 3,000 more than his opponent. That's within your power to change. If Canadians were to see Mainers send a clear message that this kind of interference with Canadian democracy is unacceptable, that would help protect your trade with Canada. It would also signal to other politicians that their games come at a price. Canadians would be appreciative.